Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kyle Clark. So the rain is helpful as firefighters work the Alexander Mountain Fire up near Loveland and the Stone Canyon Fire in Boulder County. Too much rain, of course, though, can present a different danger.
Heavy rain over the fresh burn scars caused some flash flooding warnings today. At the Alexander Mountain Fire in Larimer County, firefighters had to leave the fire line because of these warnings. It's not a new issue for crews in that area. The Cameron Peak burn scar just outside the town of Drake is still struggling to absorb any rain that falls. As firefighters near 100% containment on the flames, officials say flooding concerns will continue there for years.
Once we have a fire, then flooding becomes the next problem. Typically, we expect 5 to 10 years of dealing with flooding issues in an impacted area from a fire.
Thankfully, the flash flood warnings in Larimer and Boulder counties expired earlier this evening. Good news, firefighters now have the Alexander Mountain Fire 91% contained.
9 News reporter Rhea Jha is in Loveland for us. And Rhea, all those mandatory evacuations lifted today.
Yeah, we're outside the command center where hotshot crews still have a little bit left to go, but many people got to return home today, and some people did return to a pile of ashes. The family I spoke with, like many other families, never thought that this would happen to them.
I mean, how would you feel if the favorite place for you to go is gone?
Among 26 homes destroyed by the Alexander Mountain Fire was an old cabin.
Like almost every weekend we'd go up there.
For nearly 30 years, Emerson Wood and his family spent countless summer days amongst the trees and winter nights wearing matching sweaters with his brothers in their cabin.
Since I can remember. I mean, I was a little child crawling out on the rocks.
Larimer County officials told them last week their house was gone. Wednesday, Emerson and his father got to go there for the first time to see what's left behind.
It's gone. Yeah. Was a house. Now nothing.
The nothingness became overwhelming.
You're almost blind with what you're seeing because it's too much.
They lost everything, except...
So one thing we found, like right where the house was, one thing, a fork.
A fork, used countless times for meals, holidays, and almost every weekend of Emerson's childhood.
Memories. That's the biggest thing. I mean, it's just a building, but it's more than a building, it's memories.
The empty space serving as a reminder of everything they lost, but also an opportunity to rebuild. Emerson said they aren't considering any other spot.
It's our spot, you know?
The fire, the Woods said they did do some fireproofing, but their house obviously wasn't spared. They did say the fire moved in an indiscriminate way, leaving the houses to the left and right of them untouched. Reporting live in Loveland, Rhea Jha, 9 News.
The Quarry fire is now fully contained. That fire started west of Kincarroll last Thursday, burned through 578 acres. All evacuations were lifted yesterday. Roads will be back open to the general public by 10 tomorrow morning. Firefighters are clearing out and they're picking up equipment. That includes thousands of feet of hose needed to get water up steep slopes. Investigators have not shared what they think caused that fire.
In Moffet County, crews are keeping a close eye on a new wildfire there. As of tonight, the sheriff's office says the flames have burned around 150 acres in the area of Moffet County roads 90 and 174. No buildings are threatened with this, but a portion of Highway 40 is still closed until further notice, so drivers should avoid that area.
We were watching, Kathy, to see if the rain could kind of stay in that moderate, safe, helpful zone this afternoon.
Yes, the rain's really ramped up this afternoon when the initial push of the front that's heading our way came in. There'll be a second surge tomorrow morning, so the radar definitely something we'll be tracking. Today was the last day with temperatures in the 90s, 93 this afternoon, and that brings our summer total almost above average and in record territory. We're tracking a few light showers in Denver tonight and along the foothills with some stronger storms out on the eastern plains. Our temperatures have cooled down now with the cloud cover and the approaching front, upper 60s in Denver, Greeley, and Fort Collins. But we do have that severe thunderstorm watch as indicated by that blue kind of polygon out there in northeastern Colorado. There's still the potential for hail-producing storms, and some of the storms in Kit Carson County producing 2 to 4 inches of rain. Flash flood warnings continue from Lyman, Flagler out to the Burlington area. We're going to get reports of some county roads that are going to be flooded out here in about the next hour or so. A lot of thunder and a lot of lightning as well. Little batch of showers coming off the foothills down around Georgetown and Fairplay, keeping an eye on all of that right now. And this watch will continue to be scaled back in northeastern Colorado as we move through the evening. Temperatures really comfortable over the next few hours, but you won't believe the weather you're going to wake up to tomorrow. I'll have the timing and impact of this big weather change coming up.
Tonight, our 9 News Investigates team has learned Denver police fired 3 officers for making jokes about a migrant shelter in a group chat.
DPD says those officers joked about going to the shelters for target practice. They lost their jobs in late July. DPD says it's appalled by the messages and said that the texts were disrespectful not only to the migrant community, but to every officer working to keep people safe in the city. Last year, we actually spoke with one of the now fired officers for a story. We interviewed Rodrigo Basurto as he participated in a DPD program to expose their recruits to the city's diversity.
Not only make me a better cop, but make me a better resident for Denver. The history of Denver, it's amazing. I learned a lot this last couple of days that I had no idea, and I've been here pretty much all my life.
There were other officers in that group chat, along with the 3 who lost their jobs. All went through the training academy together, and DPD says those other officers will now go through additional training. If you have a tip for our 9 News Investigates team, email it to us, investigates@9news.com.
City of Denver is considering a new plan to add hundreds of miles of new bike lanes in town.
It could take years to get it done. The city would like help deciding where some of the new routes should go. Here's 9 News reporter Rachel Krause.
Bicycling should be fun, and we're hoping to provide the streets that will do that.
Biking around Denver can take you down different roads, some with bike lanes and many without. Taylor Phillips with the City of Denver says they're working to change that.
We've got about 230 new miles of recommended bikeways, which is a lot. So our goal in Denver is that every household is within about a quarter mile of a bikeway. So you have easy access to get to a safe and comfortable facility to take you all the way across Denver.
Phillips says building a core network for bikes will allow more direct, longer distance routes for cyclists, even on high traffic areas like Spear.
Some of the busier routes that could get bike lanes would also get safety protections, like we have right here on South Broadway.
In a public presentation Wednesday, Phillips says they want people to weigh in on what's working and what's not.
Are there places that really stink, that are really hard to get from A to B, or that feel uncomfortable that you don't like on our existing bike network?
Already putting feedback into the plan.
We have identified and pulled into the bike network new bicycle and pedestrian crossings of major barriers.
But don't fly over the bike handles just yet. This work would be spread out over 20 years, and it's not final.
This is just drawing those lines on the map, charting the course for what we want, so that then when we do get funding to go after design and construction of each of those individual streets and each individual project, we can hit the ground running.
Over the years, building a system that's safe and satisfying for everyone, whether you walk, drive, or bike.
So by creating that density and that opportunity for everyone and access for everyone, we're really hoping to kind of move the needle on mode shift and get more kind of butts on bikes, is what I like to say here.
In Denver, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
That plan's now posted on the City of Denver's website. They're taking feedback through mid-September with the goal of having a finalized plan to present to the public by the end of the year.
Lane filtering is now legal in Colorado, different than lane splitting. Lane filtering can only happen when cars are stopped at a red light or in traffic. Motorcycles can now legally ride between the lanes, passing only on the left at 15 miles per hour. They're not allowed to swerve into other lanes. The goal with this is to keep traffic moving and to make everybody safer.
If we get out of your way, that frees up the traffic lanes for you. You don't have to deal with so much congestion because, we filter through to the front, the light turns green, we're gone.
Colorado State Patrol says they'll be out enforcing and making sure people aren't passing when traffic is moving.